My name is Keith Richards. Right now, I'm attending a high school near my home. This high school is known for its academic excellence, and most of the students go on to college. However, I plan to get a job right after I graduate from high school. The reason is that I don't have anything I particularly want to do even if I go to college. So, I want to start working immediately after graduation and enter the workforce earlier than everyone else. By doing so, I think I can gain experience faster and grow as a person. However, since this high school focuses on college prep, my teacher briefly tried to persuade me during a recent meeting.
About your future plans, Keith, are you really going to get a job? Your grades are excellent, and you can get into any college, so why choose to work?
I did think about going to college, but since I don't have anything I want to do there, I figured I might as well start working sooner.
With such good grades and hard work, I think you should consider going to college.
I appreciate your concern, but I find the idea of everyone doing the same thing in college quite boring.
Just because you go to college doesn't mean you have to be like everyone else. You should live your life the way you want to.
Of course, I think so too, but if I go to college, I'll end up getting complacent and becoming like everyone else.
If you feel that strongly about it, Keith, I guess there's no helping it. Most of the students here go on to college, but you should pursue the path you've chosen.
Thank you for understanding my perspective. I'll definitely make the most of what I've learned at this school. I'm glad my teacher agreed with me. I'm quite strong-willed, so even if my teacher had opposed me, I wouldn't have changed my mind. I decided to tell my parents that I plan to get a job after high school. Since they expect me to go to college, they'll probably try to stop me if I suddenly say I want to work. But I can't avoid the conversation, so I steeled myself to talk to them. I have something important to discuss. It's about my future, so I want to talk to both of you.
Why so serious? It's rare for you to bring up something so earnest.
You said it's about your future. What exactly do you mean?
I talked to my teacher the other day, and I've decided to get a job after I graduate from high school.
Why are you suddenly saying that? You've always said you were going to college. We sent you to the college preparatory school because you said you wanted to go to college.
I feel the same as your father. We're not forcing you to go to college, but wouldn't it be better if you did?
I figured you'd say that, but I've already told my teacher I plan to work. I don't have anything I want to do in college anyway.
I don't know if you have something you want to do or not, but going to college itself is meaningful. I don't understand why you're suddenly saying this.
I think there are few people who know what they want to do. Why not try going to college first and then decide?
I appreciate that, but I've made up my mind to work. I want to start my career earlier than everyone else.
Building a career is important, but it's not too late to do that after graduating from college. So I think you should at least try going to college.
When did you start thinking like this? You seem pretty determined, but this is the first time I've heard about it, so I'm curious.
My parents seemed quite shocked since I had never hinted at getting a job before. It's no surprise they reacted this way, as they always assumed I would go to college. However, I want them to support the decision I've made after thorough consideration. But since they are the ones who sent me to this school, I decided to calmly persuade them. My parents are understanding, so I believed they would get it if I explained properly. I met someone who went to college a while back, He said he spent his days just hanging out, and I realized I don't want to end up like that.
I see. So that's what happened. You don't want to waste your time in life.
Exactly. If I'm just going to waste 4 years in college, I'd rather start working and gain experience.
I understand how you feel, but you went to the prep school, so why not think it over a bit more?
Yes, at least go to college first, and then you can try doing something different.
I did consider that, but after thinking about my future many times, I concluded that getting a job is the best path for me.
It seems your mind is made up. Fine, live your life the way you want. We're your parents, but we don't have the right to stop you.
If you feel so strongly about it, then go out into the world and see for yourself. It's your decision, after all.
Thank you for saying that. I knew you two would understand. I'll live in a way that I won't regret.
If you ever need advice, just ask. I'm more experienced with jobs, so you can ask me anything.
I'm really happy you're always there for me. I'll work hard to become an adult you can be proud of.
You've grown so much and can make your own decisions. It's clear to see, and it makes me happy.
My parents understood me. I thought they might try to stop me, but they respected my decision. I'm really grateful to them, and I want to repay them by becoming a successful adult as soon as possible. The next day, when I went to school, for some reason, my classmates Ted, Samuel, and Ryan came up to me. I don't usually talk to them much, so I had no idea why.
Hey Keith, is it true you're not going to college and getting a job instead? Why would you suddenly decide that?
Where did you hear that? I only told the teacher so far. But yeah, it's true.
Are you trying to ruin the reputation of our school? Why would you do something pointless like that when the school is working hard to improve its college acceptance rates?
What's pointless about getting a job? Besides, even the teacher supported my decision, so I'm confident about it.
So, you decided to give up on college because you knew you couldn't beat us academically, huh? Were you that frustrated about losing to us?
Samuel, what are you talking about? Sure, I might have ranked lower than you, but that's not related to this at all.
There's no need to make excuses. Unlike you, we go to tutoring. I didn't think you'd chicken out and get a job.
I'm not running away. I don't know why you're saying this, but I've decided to get a job.
Well, no matter how hard you try, you won't beat us when we get into Harvard. Is that why you're so upset and decided to get a job?
I don't know what you're misunderstanding, but I haven't thought about you guys at all. And I just found out you're aiming for Harvard.
Our plans to go to Harvard are well known, so you're just making up excuses. Deep down, you wanted to go to Harvard too, right?
Why are you making up stories? I've never aimed for Harvard.
I know you've been secretly studying hard. Why hide it? Are you embarrassed about going to a bottom-tier college?
I really couldn't understand what the three of them were saying. They're known for looking down on others, but I didn't think I'd become their target. It seems they found out I wasn't going to college and thought they could look down on me. It's a really nasty habit to gather information just to belittle others. Apparently, it's rumored that the three of them are going to Harvard. I've never heard that rumor and honestly don't care. But Ted thinks everyone knows and uses that as a basis to look down on others. Anyway, I've decided to get a job, so leave me alone. And Ted, Even though you're so confident about getting into Harvard, you haven't been accepted yet, right?
Unlike you, Keith, I've been studying properly, so I'm on the winning side. There's no way I'll fail the entrance exams.
It's great that you've been studying hard, but looking down on others is not cool. Everyone has their own path in life.
Don't make jealous comments just because you can't go to college. It's pathetic and hard to watch.
Sorry, but I'm not jealous at all. If I wanted to go to Harvard, maybe I'd feel jealous, but I don't.
You're just pretending to be tough. If you could get into Harvard without any effort, you would have tried, right?
I don't find college appealing, so I chose to work instead. Even Harvard doesn't seem attractive to me.
It's hilarious how obvious your statements are. Deep down, you want to go to Harvard, right?
I don't see the point in going to Harvard. While everyone else is in college for 4 years, I want to gain experience and become a successful businessman.
It's funny you say that. No way can someone like you, a high school graduate, beat us Harvard students even if you work hard for 4 years.
Whether I can beat you or not, I want to take on that challenge. So stop bothering me.
Keith, you're just running away. I don't think I'll meet another high school graduate like you, so I'll make sure to learn from this.
With that, the three of them left. Apparently, Samuel overheard me talking to the teacher in front of the staff room. That's how they found out about my job plans. It was annoying that they knew. But it didn't really matter at this point. So, I decided to focus on enjoying the rest of my school life. Somehow, I managed to endure the harassment from those three and reach graduation. Then, it turned out that they really got into Harvard, and they came to brag about it to me.
Hey, we're going to Harvard. While you're starting work with just a high school diploma, we'll keep growing.
Is that so? That's impressive.
You're pretending not to care, but deep down, you're really jealous, aren't you?
Sorry, but I'm not jealous at all. I'm eager to start working.
There's no need to act tough. Everyone wants to go to Harvard. You should be more honest with yourself.
No, really, I'm not lying. But getting into Harvard is impressive, and I respect the effort you put in.
Do you think acting mature will make it better? You gave up on college because you couldn't compete with this, right?
Why would I give up on college just because someone smarter than me is out there? There are other universities besides Harvard.
Other than Harvard, they're not really universities, are they? What a joke. You're just being bitter because you can't go to college.
It seems pointless to argue. Just enjoy your time at Harvard. I'll do my best in the workforce.
Well, after we graduate in 4 years and start earning way more than you. Don't get mad, okay?
Even if that happens, I don't see why I'd get mad. I'll be working hard to build my career.
No matter how early you start, a high school diploma doesn't compare to a Harvard degree. We'll probably make twice as much as you.
You'll realize working with just a high school diploma is pointless when you get overtaken by a college grad who just started.
I don't think salary is everything. I'm not working just to get a high salary.
Who knows when we'll meet again, but if we do, let's talk about work. We'll definitely be more successful.
With that, I parted ways with them and started working. The company I joined after high school didn't have the best work environment, so I changed jobs once. Thanks to the experience I gained at my first job, I now work under pretty good conditions. My boss is a great person who treats everyone equally, regardless of their education. Recently, I went out for drinks with my direct supervisor, John, and we talked about our school days.
Keith, what were you like as a student? I heard you graduated from high school. Why didn't you go to college?
I thought I wouldn't gain anything by going to college like everyone else. So, I decided to work right after high school.
I did go to college, but it seems like you're better at the job. Maybe college isn't that important.
I still think education matters, so I'm grateful to have someone like you as a boss. At my previous company, they judged everything based on education.
Of course, education is important, but I think other qualities matter more. If someone's character is bad, it doesn't matter how educated they are.
True, no matter how smart someone is, if their character is bad, they'll struggle.
Exactly. I recently met a new graduate at a branch office during a business trip. They had a bad attitude and left a poor impression.
Even this company hires such people. I always thought everyone here had great personalities.
Apparently, they were hired based on their education, but their attitude was so bad that they were sent to a regional branch office right away. Usually, people are trained at the headquarters first, and if they're not useful, they're sent to a regional branch.
Just for my information, if someone is sent to a regional branch, what is their career path like after that? Do they eventually return to the main office?
There's a chance to return from a branch, but in my 20 years here, I've never seen anyone come back after being sent to a branch.
So, being sent to a branch means there's no bright future ahead. I was honestly surprised to hear this. I thought it was someone else's problem, but now I know it could happen to me too. Knowing this doesn't change anything, so I'll just keep working as hard as I can. I've already been working hard, so I just need to maintain that. This company suits me perfectly since they evaluate everything based on job performance rather than academic background. This really helps and motivates me. Thanks to this system, I'm earning the highest salary among my peers. My boss, John, is pleased about this too.
But don't worry, Keith. As long as you keep up the good work, you won't get sent to a branch office.
Thank you for saying that. Since John has high expectations of me, I'll do my best to meet them.
You've already exceeded my expectations, but of course, it would be great if you could achieve even more.
I'm glad you think so. I'm still in my 20s, so I'll keep working hard. Please teach me if I need help with anything.
That's right, Keith. Unlike the college grads, you're still in your 20s but already have significant work experience. That's a big advantage.
I felt that a bit myself. In places where they judge by merit, I think it's an advantage.
Maybe it's just my perception, but it seems like more places are judging by merit these days. People like you might be more valued.
Compared to those who worked hard in college and gained various skills, I still have a long way to go.
Anyone could say that. People who continuously work hard and grow will always be recognized, no matter where they are.
That's true. Even with academic skills, without real ability, it's pointless. We need to keep growing. Honestly, when I was working at my previous company, I was looked down on just for having a high school diploma. So, I'm really grateful for a company that evaluates fairly. Moreover, this company is a large corporation, so working at the headquarters means I get a pretty good salary. This allows me to do things for my parents, like taking them on trips. At first, They wanted me to go to college, but now they recognize my efforts. We talked about this during our recent trip.
Keith taking us on a trip. This is such a blessing.
Who would have thought you'd become such a fine adult? Maybe you grew up quickly because you started working early.
I'm glad to hear that. Honestly, I was a bit anxious right before graduating high school.
We're sorry for opposing you back then. We thought college was the best option and didn't consider your wishes.
Yeah, we thought college was the best and that a high school diploma wasn't great. Sorry for not thinking it through.
I'm glad I was born to parents who now accept my way of life.
Hearing you say that makes me so happy. Even though you're busy with work, you always do so much for us. Thank you.
She is absolutely right. You give us gifts on our anniversary and take us on trips for our birthdays.
You've done so much for me, so I want to do as much as I can for you. I've been saying that since high school, remember?
Yes, you've been saying that, but we never thought it would come true. We're deeply grateful.
It's not that we didn't believe in you. We just didn't want to pressure you.
Thanks to your kindness, I could do all this without feeling pressured. That's why things are going well.
That's so nice of you to say.
We're really proud of how you turned out.
I'm glad to hear that from you too. If I had lousy parents, I wouldn't be doing this. When I said that, they both started to cry. I think they were happy about my growth. Seeing them like that made me glad I worked hard after high school. One day, I received an invitation to a class reunion. I wasn't sure if I should go, but I decided to attend because I wanted to see some friends. On the day of the reunion, as soon as I entered the venue, Ted and the others approached me.
Well, look who it is, Keith. I can't believe you, a high school graduate, have the guts to attend this reunion. Seems like everyone except you went to college.
Just because I only have a high school diploma doesn't mean I can't attend. It's the first time I've heard that everyone except me went to college. But even if that's true, it doesn't matter.
Are you still trying to act tough? The teachers probably didn't tell you to spare your feelings.
I'm not acting tough. I'm just being honest with myself. And I have no idea if the teachers were sparing my feelings.
Are you regretting your decision now that you've started working with only a high school diploma, especially when you see people as smart as us?
I thought I might regret it a bit, but everything's been going so smoothly that I have no regrets. In fact, I'm glad I chose this path.
You're probably regretting it deep down, but can't admit it to us. It must be tough to have only a high school diploma.
I told you, I have no regrets, but you can think whatever you want. It's not going to change anything now. The three of them haven't changed at all since high school, and if anything, their smugness has increased. Getting into Harvard must have boosted their confidence and made them even more condescending. Given their age, I thought they would have matured a bit by now, considering they graduated from college a few years ago. But they're just the same. Looking down on me for working straight out of high school. I don't want to talk to them, but they won't leave me alone. The conversation eventually turned to work.
So, what are you doing now? Are you working at some factory because you only have a high school diploma?
I don't know what image you have of high school graduates, but I work at a regular company as an office worker.
I didn't know high school grads could get regular office jobs. But you probably make about half of what we do, being Harvard elites.
I don't know how much you make, but compared to my peers, I think I'm doing pretty well. I'm grateful my skills are recognized.
By the way, we didn't mention this to you, but we all got hired by the same top tire company. So, we're working together now.
All three of you at the same company. That's pretty rare. I've never heard of such a thing.
They probably hired us together because we're all Harvard grads and exceptionally talented.
I see. Being Harvard grads is impressive. It's amazing you all got hired by the same company.
And it's not just any company, but it's a top-tier one. When we get promoted, our salaries will be way higher than yours, Keith.
The three of them kept looking down on me and acting superior. I don't understand why I have to put up with this even as an adult. I decided to play along for the sake of the reunion. So, which company did you all join? If it's a top tire company, I should recognize the name right away, right? With confident looks, they announced the company name. I couldn't hide my surprise and fell silent. Noticing my reaction, they laughed and confirmed.
Too stunned to speak. It's understandable, since it's such a top-tier company. It's only natural for Harvard grads.
But staying silent like that. Keith, a company like ours is out of reach for a high school grad like you.
If you had worked as hard as we did, you could have joined a similar company, but you wasted your life.
Have you ever worked at our company? Or are you stationed at a branch office?
What do you mean by our company? Don't lump Keith's company with ours. We work at a top-tier firm.
Do you work at a company with a similar name to ours, Keith?
No, I work at the same company as you three. I've always been at the headquarters and never saw you, which is strange.
What?
Huh?
Pardon?
The three of them froze, unable to believe what I had just said. I was also confused about the situation. After thinking for a moment, I recalled what John had said about some useless new hires sent to a branch office. It clicked that he might have been talking about these three. I called John to confirm their names, and it turned out I was right. Apparently, these three were sent to the branch because, despite their degrees, they were useless at the main office. I just checked with John, and it seems you three were labeled as useless and sent to the branch.
That's just because we're still new.
Yeah, we're just getting started.
How can someone with just a high school diploma like Keith work at the same company as Harvard grads and be more recognized?
Exactly.
John told me that once you're sent to a branch, it's nearly impossible to come back to the main office.
Really?
So, no matter how hard we work from now on, our chances of returning to the main office are slim.
The three of them seemed unable to grasp the situation. It's no wonder they were shocked, considering the person they used to look down on worked at the headquarters of the same company and was more recognized than them. You were bragging just a moment ago, and now it turns out you were at our company's branch. When I said this, the three of them, feeling embarrassed, quickly left. Apparently, they couldn't stand the thought of not being able to outdo me and eventually quit the company. Living to look down on others must have made losing to me unbearable. From what John said, they weren't any good at their jobs, so it's unlikely they'd succeed at another company. It seems my prediction was correct, as I heard they struggled with finding new jobs. To make sure I don't lose to them, I'll continue to gain experience and aim to outshine college graduates, even with just a high school diploma.